The fans of the long-running TV series Blue Bloods will definitely want to hear this news. Tom Selleck, the star of the show, has kindled some hope for the CBS drama, saying he'd be up for more. So if you were worried like us about season 13 being the last one, this one's for you. Keep watching to find out more about the likelihood of another season of Blue Bloods. First up, Tom Selleck says, "I'm game." You heard that right. When asked whether he would be up for filming more of CBS's Blue Bloods, Tom Selleck said he's game. Since its premiere in 2010, this generational drama has been quite a success. Tom Selleck stars as the main patriarch, Frank Regan, in CBS's hit drama Blue Bloods. As we reach the end of season 13, fans have been eager to find out if there is any hope of the drama continuing into more seasons. Well, we're here to tell you that there is. Our fan favorite Selleck definitely thinks so. Coming to some background about Blue Bloods. Let's take a look at some of the other actors from Blue Bloods. We know that the show follows the life and career of Police Commissioner Frank Regan. There's also a lot going on around Regan's adult children. The kids have also followed in their dad's footsteps and made their careers in law enforcement. Jamie Regan, who is played by Will Estes, is the youngest son. He's currently working as a field intelligence sergeant. Meanwhile, the character of the older son, Danny Regan, is played by Donnie Wahlberg. Danny works at the NYPD as a detective. Moving to Frank Regan's daughter, we have Bridget Moynihan, playing Erin Regan. The youngest daughter is doing a wonderful job as the trial bureau chief. She's even got a fair shot at becoming district attorney, we'd say. If you follow the show, you'll know that it explores the different investigations by the Regan family members. All the dynamics between the loved ones bring different types of nuances to the storyline. Each family member has their individual professional and personal struggles. Us fans have always looked forward to the weekly family dinner. Everyone reunites and discusses their opinions on whatever cases each of them may be working on at the time. Moving on to Tom's feelings about the show continuing. To be fair with you all, it's not been a glaring concern that the show might end. The story hasn't really shown any signs of stopping. Still, it's no harm to have actors like Tom come up and reassure us. Tom discussed the future of the show with TV Insider recently. He was asked how it would feel if they reached 15 seasons. Tom's reaction was actually pretty funny. He said that he had a mortgage to pay, so he was game. This actually does come as happy news for fans who were worried about his health. The actor just turned 77 years old. Now, a lot of us have been worrying that he may be growing tired and decide to retire soon. That would have been terrible news for the show, since he's definitely the main anchor holding it together. So we're pretty happy to hear him say he's game. Now for some news from CBS about a 14th season. We can talk all we want about the actor's willingness to keep working. In reality, it's CBS we have to watch out for. Now, admitting that 13 seasons is quite an impressive feat, we have to look at what CBS is saying to conclude whether Tom's 15-season dreams can become reality. We're not quite sure on that front, it seems. That said, the hardcore fans may already be keeping tabs on this. So far, we've heard no confirmation if CBS has decided to renew the hit show Blue Bloods for a 14th installment. Still, we shouldn't worry so much just yet. Even the 13th season for Blue Bloods wasn't approved until April of 2022. We've only reached December, and even season 13 isn't over yet. So there's definitely plenty of time for an announcement to be made, confirming the 14th season. Remember that all of this is still good news. Why? Because even Tom Selleck himself was surprised at the longevity of the beloved show. Coming up next, salaries today versus the 80s. Audiences look at stars like Selleck and assume that their money-worrying days are long gone. Who would imagine Selleck would be stressed over paying off his mortgage? Back in the 80s, Selleck used to star in the famous Magnum P.I., and his salary then would put his paycheck today to shame. Even then, today's TV stars are making a fraction of what Selleck was making back in the day. We've recently come to know how much Henry Cavill earned for his little cameos in Black Adam and Flash as Superman. The cameos made the Witcher star around $500,000 richer. That's a pretty shocking amount, isn't it? Since the news broke about his pay, we've been revisiting some of the salaries of our beloved Hollywood A-listers. Fans don't really know what Henry Cavill made from his gig as Superman while he stayed in the DCEU universe universe, though. Even so, we do know his paycheck from Witcher. Now, as popular as Henry Cavill is, you'd expect his pay to be beyond our imaginations. Sure, he's been making $400,000 per episode for The Witcher, well, at least in Season 1. And this may be a lot to an average person. Okay, quite a lot. But for a popular actor like Cavill, it doesn't seem like much. Looking at Tom Selleck's salary in the hit series Blue Bloods, if you thought $400,000 per episode for Henry Cavill wasn't much, wait till you hear how much Tom Selleck is making. The handsome Richard from Friends is getting around $200,000 per episode. That is quite literally half of what Cavill made per episode for Witcher Season 1. Tom Selleck is an American star who's maintained his fame well into the 2020s for his fatherly character as the police commissioner Frank Reagan in the popular Blue Blood series. You'd think with a pedigree like Selleck's, who's been working in the industry for decades, would earn him more than this. So people have said that Cavill agreed to get a pay cut just so he could get the role of Geralt of Rivia in the Netflix show Witcher. This was because Cavill absolutely adored the show. Now, think about how much of a pay cut Selleck is getting for Blue Bloods. It's pretty shocking, isn't it? Up next, Tom Selleck's paycheck in the Magnum P.I. series. Magnum P.I. aired back in 1980 to 1988. It was a hit show, and quite possibly the reason why Selleck rose to his fame and popularity today. Selleck played the lead role in the show, which followed his adventures as an ex-Navy officer turned Hawaii-based private detective. The crime show was an absolute hit back in the 80s. In fact, Selleck, estimated to have a net worth of $45 million, played the role of Thomas Sullivan Magnum IV. Back in the 1980s, Selleck got paid much better than he is getting paid by Blue Bloods today. For just one episode of Magnum P.I., he would earn around $500,000. Sure does put Cavill's paycheck in perspective, right? This was around 40 years ago. So if you really think about it, in today's economy, Selleck was making around $1.2 million per episode. Mind-blowing. Coming up, why are actors today accepting much less pay? While Cavill earned around $400,000 per episode in Witcher's first season, his pay was raised to around $1 million for the second season. On the other hand, Robert Downey Jr. was making an astounding $2 million per episode for the Sympathizer series. Meanwhile, Chris Pratt was earning around $1.4 million per episode for the Terminal List show. Coming to women, Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon were both paid $2 million for each episode of The Morning Show on Apple TV+. This show premiered back in 2019. The Hollywood heavyweights have been earning well, but every now and then there is a blip where some actor takes much less than what they could have earned. This brings us to the important question: why are famous actors who could be making a lot more money settling for pay cuts today? While there could be many possible answers, only one seems likely. Maybe now that they have made enough money, they don't need to worry about paychecks. Instead, they can just focus on being free to choose whatever project they think is interesting and fun. This kind of freedom is definitely what a lot of actors aspire to have one day when they're successful enough. It's clear that this was the reason why Cavill picked Witcher. Even though the pay was less, he was just too big a fan to let the project go. Finally, Tom Selleck's other money-making ventures. While the actor may not be getting paid as well as other A-listers in the market now, he still has his wallet full. For Blue Bloods, he's been making $200,000 per episode. With each season having around 19 to 22 episodes each, he's making roughly around $4.4 million per season. Tom's also been doing a lot of movies. Sure, none of his other movies have achieved massive success as 3 Men and a Baby did, but still, he's been a producer and a writer for the made-for-TV series Jesse Stone. The films proved to be quite popular, with a large budget of over $52 million. Coming to Selleck's other projects, he's been in loads of advertisements and brand endorsements. You may recognize him from the 1993 ad on You Will for AT&T, or you might remember the Florida Orange Juice campaign from 2007, in which Tom had a part. Finally, Selleck has a booming real estate business with his family. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Selleck Properties invested in commercial real estate across the city of Los Angeles. Maybe we shouldn't be too worried about the finances of our good old Magnum PI. He's doing quite all right. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Selleck should be getting paid on par with actors like Robert Downey Jr.? What are your thoughts on Blue Bloods continuing for more seasons? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.